If you'd like to help me make games, please consider donating to my Patreon. Links in the description. Some gamer dude here. So the other day, Bandai put out both the full sets for the Naruto Boruto expansions. We'll be looking at one a day over the next 2 days, looking at the Hokage set today and the Master and Pupil one tomorrow. We'll just start with Shizune, going straight into it. Now, I've already looked at Shizune before. I'm quite a fan of the card. It's a chump sentinel. I kept wanting to say blocker, but it's a different mechanic. And when she dies, she gives something else of yours sentinel. And she has an ability as a guardian. She stops something from attacking. I think Shizune is a really solid card overall. My opinions on Sentinels have slightly changed thanks to Godzilla, which, spoilers, the review is coming out this weekend. But I think she's solid for the Naruto sets thanks to Sakura existing. I'll go into more detail then, but it's a solid card in my books. I really like it. I think a 2, she can go down to 1 with Naruto out, I think. Even less if you have multiple Narutos, I believe. She just makes it very easy to just protect yourself in a meaningful way, because again, she gives something else sentinel, so that your big beefy thing that's already tapped and out and hasn't died can act as a sentinel. I really love Shizune as a card. Just helps that she's a character I really like. So next up we have, and yes, I'm recording the Facebook page, is Chiriku. Now, I'm not too familiar with who this is, but given the multiple hands, I'm going to guess it's connected to the Sage of the Six Paths. I'm not terribly familiar with the very late stuff, other than Kaguya being the Atsutsuki. No, it's not the... What is the name of the moon people again? It's a weird concept that Naruto ended on moon people. Anyway, he's a 4-cost 2 strength battler with double toughness, and when he fights, you draw a card, which is wow, and you choose a battler and give it -1 strength. And then as a guardian ability, he has -1, draws your card and draws your next card. This card is solid all over. He refuels the cost of toughness, and he's tough, but yeah, he's only 2. He's gonna die after 3 hits, but you can filter your hand into better stuff via him. I actually like that as mechanic. Yeah, if they go after him specifically, those toughness are going to get eaten up, and it was kind of worse, but they're not attacking your guardian stack in that case, or using effects to kill off other more important battlers. I don't mind him. I'd like to see him in practicality, but I've been quite impressed by toughness. It's easily my favourite mechanic of the Godzilla set, so I'm very happy to see cards with it. And the power down effect, I don't know how strong it's going to be, because there's not that much with 1 power, but I've also learned that's also quite a good effect. Next up we have Asuma, who has 5 cost, 4 strength, and comes out and lowers something by 4, and as a guardian he lowers something by 4. That's pretty solid. He's field control. He's fairly beefy at 4 for 5. Not the greatest thing in the world. He's mostly just board control on a body and board control on a guardian. Yeah, the Naruto decks do have a lot of very strong battlers for higher costs, probably more stronger than they should be. But the Naruto decks also do curve much lower than the Godzilla ones. The Godzilla decks have a problem where it's very, very common to go 7 drop, 6 drop, 5 drop normal. The Naruto decks are much lower, but 4's going to clear out quite a bit. And it's on a body. I think that's pretty decent, to be honest. I like him. 6 cost 4 strength, Izumo Namikuzi. Kamizuki. Jeez, I can't read today. So, he has Transform, which is one of our new mechanics. So you can put a battler that can attack into your hand to bring him out attacking. He has Elusive, which means he can't be attacked except by a character with Elusive. Double Breaker. And when he fights, he gives something -2. -2 is going to clear out a lot more than -1 is. he's coming out attacking, and then so he gets that ability too. He can also lower sentinels to get them into his range, although sentinels aren't that relevant. And actually, he's going to kill off most Naruto sentinels commonly played, like against Shizune or Kabuto. I think he's quite good. Yeah, he's a bit costly at 6, but he does get swiftness because of the way he works, even though you have to bring something back to your hand. But as I've said before, in the mechanic, we'll talk of transform. You get to use that enter ability again, or to feel something else like toughness. So I actually quite like transform as a mechanic. So this card, I've actually liked everything so far. So we're doing good. Next up we have Genma Shiranui. Now that's a ninja name. 6 cost, 5 strength. I say that because if you've played Vanguard, you'll... And actually, isn't Mai from King of Fighters? Yeah, her last name's Shiranui too. He has Transform, Double Breaker, and I think that's Legion. It's when he attacks, the next one you play costs -2. And when he's destroyed, you get a card. I'm not sure the... yeah, I'm pretty sure it is Legion. The next one you summon... See, I remember what the icons do. I don't remember the names. I think that was notable in the last video I did too. About was it the last video one where I was talking on the... anyway, I forgot what the recovery was called. I just called it the potion icon. Anyway, again, this one I think is actually a little bit less, because at 6 you're probably giving your opponent time by that point. In the Naruto sets anyway, and versing other Naruto sets. So he is... Yeah, 5 strength, you're probably going to get that draw a card as well a lot of the time. Not all the time, but a fairly decent chunk of the time. Especially with Double Breaker increasing the chances of him hitting it. He's probably the first one I'm not terribly fussed on. Next up we have our new Tsunade. 7 cost, 4 strength, so wow. Transform, Double Breaker, and when she fights, she gains +3, and she gives something else -3. So she becomes a 7 for 7 with Transform, gives something else -3, and Double Breaker. Yes, she's 4 on your turn, so it's a power attacker. You can tell I've been playing and reading a lot of Duel Masters recently. Yeah, I actually think she's quite good. Again, 3 is enough to start clearing out boards. I like that. And I really like that minus mechanic in the Godzilla sets. I prefer that over straight up kill, to be quite honest. Tsunade, I like her. I think she's a good card. Worth 7? Actually, yes. Definitely worth 7 because, again, at 3 she can start clearing boards or bringing down other things to her range. Because -3, at a 10 she can kill it off. Anything with 9 or less power, she's going to survive after killing it. I quite like Tsunade. Good card. Next up we have Tobirama Senju. Now I picked on Tobirama before for being the type of sentinel I don't like, and actually I still don't like it. The reason being is I think the strength is way too low for a sentinel to have staying power, and outside of that, the Naruto sets honestly prefer chump blocker sentinels thanks to Sakura not making them a worthwhile investment, and Neji to a certain degree. But Transform, Double Breaker, Sentinel, 7 for 7, I think it's crap. I genuinely do not like it. I think there are better Sentinels. I think Boruto is an 8 for 7, I believe. I think it'd be a better investment. Still, I'd just rather use Shizune, Kabuto, anyone cheap, because of Sakura. Next up we have Hashirama Senju at 8 cost, 9 strength, Transform, Double Breaker, and Toughness. I actually really like him because the card that you've used for the Transform, you can fill with the user can fill Toughness. So I think I discussed this before, but I really like that reusing the card that you used for Transform in a different way. Either reuse the enter ability or use it to fuel Toughness after the enter ability's been used once, and that's its whole purpose. I really love the multi-use of cards the transform can facilitate. And with cards with synergistic abilities like this, I really like it. 8, is it costly? Yeah, but 8, 9 strength, toughness, double breaker. Uh, what? Sasuke is the only thing I can think of offhand that would be able to kill him off attacking. He's actually fairly secure attacking into the Guardian stack. I quite like him. Next up, we have Multi Shadow Clone Jutsu, 3 cost ability card. I forgot the name for a second. Guardian ability of giving you a shield. Sorry, a Guardian, which is actually really good. I think only. Does Team 7 do that as well? I know it gives you an ability as its. It gives you a Guardian as its activated ability. I think it's got it as a Guardian ability as well. Anyway, gives you an EX and your battle is gained double breaker for the turn. I really like that too. It really makes it easy to just start clearing out boards because everything's. I wonder if the breakers stack in this. I think they do because of the way it's worded. It's +1, so it kind of reads like it would stack. But if it does, it does. That's no big deal. Everything's still going for over a third, just under half of your opponent's Guardian stack. Depending on what you've got out, because a lot of strong battlers do have double breaker, but chance wise, it's probably worth giving everything double breaker and just slam in. If you can give them all more power, it's even better. I don't think this is a solid, oh my god, I must run this card. Even in Sealed, which was what I played, I don't think it's really the greatest card in the world. But it's not a terrible card. I don't mind it. I actually do prefer it for its Guardian ability, though. Next up, we enter blue with Konohamaru. 3 cost, 1 strength, so some of those earlier cards kill him off. Enter, draw a card, choose a battler, and tap it. So make something a target for something else that can attack, and you want that battler gone before it can kill off one of your guys. And as a Guardian ability, it taps one of your opponent's battlers, well, any battler, which means it can stop you from being attacked. Konohamaru is decent late game when your opponent summons something and you want it to not exist anymore. But straight off, it's a support card in a lot of ways. I'd say it would be better on an action card, ability card. I'd say it's better on an ability card. Too many games in my head at the moment. I'd say it's better on an ability card, but anything on a body is strictly superior to not being on a body. It just feels like something you would use like an ability card and just get the body for the bonus, I guess. It's a very much a support card for trying to kill something. Next up, we have Iruka Umino, who I think is his first card. 3 cost, 2 strength, elusive, and a tap ability, which is our first for Naruto, although I think the previous did say a few other cards. He can choose a battler and tap it, which actually just is strictly superior to... Is he strictly superior to Konohamaru? No, not really, because Konohamaru, again, acts like an ability card. Iruka is vulnerable as soon as he taps, but it's a good effect. You can, again, drag things into the ability to kill it. So, especially things that have just come out, which I actually do like. It's not... I think I'd just rather use Konohamaru, to be honest, though. Although he does have elusive, which means that they have to have an elusive battle, which aren't common in the Naruto sets, which means he is quite hard to attack. So there's that. I don't know. You get the constant use out of Iruka, but risk them having to pack an elusive, or you just get it straight off with Konohamaru. It really depends on how die you are, because Iruka can just sit on the board until you're ready to use him, unless something, takes advantage of that 2 strength and just kills him outright, because elusive isn't protector or negates abilities or whatnot. And as a Guardian ability, it comes to your hand, which is good. Great. +1. good. Next up, we have the 3 cost 3 strength Kotetsu Hagane. He has Transform, and when he fights, he gains +3, and a Guardian ability of Get an EX, and when he's destroyed, he goes to your hand. So, just to clarify that, a Guardian has to be defeated, I believe, to get the destroyed ability. They're not destroyed natively unless the attacker wins. So, yeah. They just get discarded otherwise. But is it worth Transform for 3, actually? Yeah, I'd actually say a 3 for 6 and getting to reuse an enter ability is pretty much worth it. Yeah, use 3 on your opponent's turn, and he can be gotten rid of fairly easily. The Tsunade we saw earlier just goes, and picks him off. But he's pretty decent. He's not the worst thing in the world. Again, I'm more thinking about the synergy of reusing enter abilities. Next up, we should be getting to the end soon. We have Kakashi Hatake. 3 cost 4 strength. He has the Protector, which I think it means he draws all effects to him. He can't attack. When he taps, your battle is going to withdraw, which means that they return to your hand when destroyed. Which means you don't lose field advantage for when you're attacking and they'd get killed. Which, yeah, it's a bit slow, but that's actually the problem with Aruka too. It's a bit slow. The game is pretty quick. It's one of those things, if Sentinels, especially beefy Sentinels, were more prominent, the power levels weren't so high, and Sakura wasn't around, Kakashi would probably be a lot better. He'd survive to make this worth it. As it is, you're paying 3 for something decent, but it can't really do much. It's, yeah. It's not a fan. Not in the way the game works. 4 cost 2 strength, Choza Akimichi. When he comes out, you use an enter ability of any card in play that has an enter ability, which is pretty good. And as a Guardian, he draws you a card. When he's destroyed, he gets you an EX card at 2 strength. He's very likely to get destroyed as a Guardian. Now, use any enter ability in play. I think that's really good. I like that. There are other cards in these decks that do the exact same effect that I think might be a better investment than this, but just straight up for I want to use that ability, or I want to use this ability again, pretty good. I like it. Especially with Sentinel and that red Boruto Sakura that kills Sentinels, I believe it is. It's... Again, I think there's better cards that are at least a bit more interesting. Maybe his utility and the fact he's not overly complex help him out. I don't know. I'd have to play it before I had that kind of opinion. But, yeah, it really depends on the rest of the enter abilities on the deck. I'm not sure offhand, because I'm a little bit tired if there's enough. But we'll keep an eye out now. So, we're just talking about enter abilities. This one has one. Choose 2 battlers and tap them, which, yeah, that's kind of better than, Konohamaru. Actually, Konohamaru is an enter ability, I should have mentioned him. And a Guardian ability of choose battler and tap it. This is Shikaku Nara, Shikamaru's dad. 4 cost, 4 strength. He tags him with Choji's dad, really well. I think I'd honestly prefer him to Konohamaru because the 1 more strength and you get more, and you can reuse it with Joji's dad. It's just these feel like they're made for a slower game, guys. I just, again, it feels like this whole tap down mechanic is only really good for clearing out things that've got summoning sickness, and they're made for a game with, you know, blockers. If blockers do come to Chrono Clash, all these cards become magically better overnight. And I don't know how good blocker is immediately. Who knows? This actually might be set up for blockers to come in Neon Genesis. We don't know. But, yeah. these tap down effects are hard to use, but they've got potential. Next up, we have Inoichi Yamanaka. That's Ino's dad. 5 cost, 4 strength, transform, enter, choose an enter ability and use it. And when he's a guardian, tap something down. So all 3 of Ino Shikacho's dads do the tap down enter abilities daily. Again, there's got to be enter abilities you want to use. At 4 strength, could he use Shikaku? Sorry, Shikaku. What was his dad? Yeah, it is Shikaku. Shikaku to tap down things and kill them off. 4 strength is probably a little bit low for that. There's some cards that, yeah, he could, but not enough. It really depends. It's, again, another card that seems so good on paper, but I wonder if the game's too slow for it, because more utility effects. With other cards that have good enter abilities, again, Sakura. There's a ton of cards with good enter abilities. He can use those cards. He can reuse other cards via the transform, so you can make a complete enter ability deck. At 5 to come out with an enter ability attacking, not that bad, but we'll see. Next up, we have the third Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi, 5 cost, 4 strength, and I think I've talked about this before. When he comes out, he chooses a battler, taps it, and then uses, I think he chooses that same battler and uses an enter ability, and as his guardian ability gains +2 time. Again, similar issues. I actually think I kind of prefer this one to Inoji, because he goes double duty on things, but he doesn't have as much synergy with things. It's really hard to say without, again, he's 4 strength, 5 cost. You need to be able to attack into these things that you are tapping. You have to take advantage of summoning sickness. You need to combo into other cards or have the setup already there. It's and you're only really minusing 1 your opponent, but and as this game goes on, there's a lot more +1 effects. Like, you'll see cards with multiple of the handshake one that you discard the top card of your deck, and if it's a battler, it goes to your hand. I forget its name offhand. Is that Legion? Then what's the one that gives the next one minus cost? I really got to put a guide for the names. I remember what the icons do, but not their names. So we go up to Minato Namikaze, 8 cost, 9 strength. Transform, double breaker. When he battles, you choose an enter ability and use it. I actually really like this one because of the versatility, the fact he comes out and does it, the fact he can do it multiple times. He's big, beefy boy, and he's got double breaker. I think he's actually a really good card. I really like him. Again, 8 cost might be a bit expensive, but again, you can use other cards' enter abilities once, bring them back to the hand, and then bring him out again. And so bring him out, and he comes out swinging twice with a very strong ability, can reuse another card's enter ability. And yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff here. I think he's very good. Now we have the extra battlers, starting with Hashirama Senju, 5 cost, 5 strength, swiftness, fast, or speed attacker, depending on what game's name you call for this. Double breaker, 2 instances of toughness, and when he fights, it goes up to 8, and chooses a battler and gives it -1. So he's an 8, swinging in twice with 2 amounts of toughness. Wow, he's going to be nuking a lot. He's just going to be swinging through your opponent for a while. They're going to have a fairly hard time getting rid of him. And he can start weakening things so that other things can pick them off. Or abilities can get to them, or really small weenies, which there are very few, but let's say they get on the board, he can kill them. I'm just really impressed with toughness as a whole. So toughness on double breakers with swiftness and decent power. Ooh, I'm actually really liking that. Actually, toughness on lower cards is even better because it won't affect those Guardian Destruction abilities. So yeah, I really like Hashirama. Next up, we have Tobirama again. 8 cost, 9 strength. Swiftness, double breaker, and 3 bouts of toughness. Sorry, triple breaker and 3 bouts of toughness. And when he battles, he draws you a card, which means he keeps refueling. Oh god, Tobirama, you made up for the crappy one in the deck. They have to kill him 4 times, and he keeps refueling your hand for all the cards he cost you. Not only the ones on board to summon him, because he's a tribute summon, because he's an extra battler, but the ones you used for toughness. Oh wow, I really, really like the second Hokage. He is genuinely good. Yeah, he costs a lot of cards to fuel. You're probably using, excluding himself, 5 cards to get him out at max capacity, which is a lot. But, wow. He's not coming out full strength a lot, but he is, he's got staying power. He's got a lot of staying power. I don't even think you really care terribly much about all the cards you're missing, because he's also giving you 2 cards a turn. It's just a matter of getting him out and getting those cards, because it's a 5-card hand. You go up to 6. You need all of those cards and to get him in your hand and other cards. So there's a deck definitely made for him, but I don't know if he can win single-handedly. Again, he's striking half the damn thing, over half. He only needs 3 strikes to win the game. He's a big boy. He's very impressive. Very impressive. Next up, we have Hiruzen Sarutobi, who's got the Death Reaper behind him. 9 cost, 10 strength. Fast double breaker. When he comes out, you choose a battler and give it -5. When he battles you, gives a battler -5. So he keeps clearing your opponent's board. He just starts nuking your opponent's board at 10. He's very hard to get rid of. Again, I think it's like Sasuke is about the only thing that can stop him. And wow, that is strong. Worth 9? Yes. Yes, it is worth 9. And he just keeps clearing your opponent's board. They're in constant threat. Experience, again, from the Godzilla decks. These type of effects, where they keep doing it on attack, get very oppressive very quickly. I would want Neji around to get rid of this guy. Next up, we have Minato and Naruto, which I think is our first dual character card. Wish they'd done something a bit special for it. He has 5 cost, 5 strength, swiftness, triple breaker, and elusive. 5 strength. Thank God he's only 5 cost, because he is pretty easy to kill off. Yeah, he's got elusive, which means your opponent can't kill him by attacking into it. But 5 strength is just that level where one of those 3 battlers it's got a decent chance of killing him. Them, I should say. But 5 strength, 5 cost, you get a fair whack of beaten face for that. That's beaten face worthy. I like that. I like it a lot more than I'm letting on. I think it's elusive gives us staying power, and 5 strength makes it vulnerable, but it seems like it's a well-balanced card. I like what it's going for. 5 strength is probably that sweet spot where it's not too oppressive. And is this the last card? I think it should be. Yep. Naruto Uzumaki, when he's the Hokage. 6 strength, 6 cost, swiftness, double breaker. When he fights, all your guardians gain when they fight. Sorry, all your battlers gain when they fight, draw a card. So everyone just draws cards. Like mad. Wow, does he refill things. He makes Tobirama really playable. Him and Tobirama play into each other really well. Because he includes himself. All your battlers, he is a battler. And everyone just draws cards. You're probably getting... Even if you just go after your opponent's board, you're just drawing like probably 2, 3, 4 cards. Easy. Naruto, I think, actually plays into Tobirama really well. Which is kind of funny because I think they're very opposite personalities. I like it. I think there's a deck there, to be quite honest. Actually, this deck has enough really cool stuff to start tempting me into building Chrono Clash decks. I kind of wish there was a scene to do that here. I could do it untapped, but that's about the only place, because I like leaving what I've got sealed for to keep things level for when I play against friends. And what's up? Oh no, we have more battlers. Oh yeah, I forgot there's 6 on top of the deck, so there's 24. Because it's 18 plus 6. So Kakashi Hatake, 8 cost, 7 strength, swiftness, double breaker, elusive. When he comes out, he gets plus 5 strength. Choose a battler and tap it. I don't like that very much. I really don't. He goes up to 13 for the turn. He's got swiftness and double breaker, and he's elusive, but you can kill something. That's about all he really does. He's actually probably the best use of the tap down ability because he gets up to really absurd numbers. But I don't like it. It's pity. It's our only Kakashi probable Hokage card. No, he's still got... Is he Hokage at that point? He does have the Sharingan still. I don't think he is. But, yeah, I'm not a big fan. I get the point of it. I don't think it's practical. I just don't think it's great. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff I like in here. Yeah, back to Shizune. There's a lot of stuff I like in here. There's a lot I'm iffy on, but as a whole, I think it's another good entry into Chrono Clash. And that's all for today. So come back tomorrow and we'll go through the Master and Pupil decks. This has been Some Gamer Dude, and thanks for watching.